Oh, okay. I'm live. Thanks, Pete Kane here, Podcast Pete. Why does building a key strategic partner mastermind team matter? It matters everything. There's three tips I want to give you. I mean, three strategies, and we're going to go into some detail how you can apply, how you can implement this and activate it in your business. Gets down to three things: leads, cash flow, and building thriving communities. If you're not doing these three things, you're not going to be in business long. So it's critical that you establish the focus on these three priorities. Doesn't matter whether you have a big time website, you got brochures, you got all this expensive stuff. That's collateral, noise. The first thing you need to focus on is your leads. If you do not have leads, you don't have a business. So many people neglect this, and then all of a sudden they're out of business. I saw somebody, I don't know the company, but they do DNA, 15 million of them. Well, they only had an understanding that people only got one DNA. They didn't get ongoing. So all of a sudden they're bankrupt because they didn't have the leads that were coming in on a regular basis that could create the cash flow long term. So they were in business for a while, but they never established these three things. Thriving community will put them all together. So we're going to go into detail about this because we want you to be successful. We want you to build on these three concepts: generate leads, create cash flow, and build thriving communities. I'm going to give you a resource too, where you can take these things, but I'm going to spend some time with you to help you really understand this, because if you do, the world is your oyster. The magic is in you, and anything's possible. People buy from people, they don't buy from companies. So if you don't have a person that's taken a leadership in your company, preferably the CEO, the visionary, then you're going to misconnect with people, or you'll disconnect, because people don't buy from companies. People buy from people. Look at all the examples. We could show you a bunch. Oprah. She probably has dozens of companies, but you know of Oprah. Elon Musk, dozens of companies, but you know of Elon Musk. Whether you're, well, I'm not going to even go down that path. Guy's an incredible inventor, changing, and people are trashing him. Well, there'll always be evil. Always. There'll always be people that want to tear things down, but you as a business owner want to build. You want to generate the leads, create the cash flow, and building thriving communities. You do that, you're going to have some fun. Because we talk about being bold, make an impact, and have fun. I'm going to go into some more details about it because I want you to implement these. Okay, let me go to the first one. All right. Let's make me smaller. I think that's what you're saying. Yes. And make this bigger. Okay. This is a relationship wheel. And why is this important? Because your network is your single biggest, most valuable asset. Your network is your single biggest, most valuable asset. I see so many people try to be everywhere, but they're not somewhere. And what is somewhere? Now it's your digital profile. And if you're not actively building that profile, when people meet you, they're going to search you. And if they search you and they don't find anything, that's it. People are going to stop doing anything beyond that. You got to give them the content. Podcasting is the best. It's fresh. And if you get into long form, people get to know you. Because there is a 7-11-4, and we're not going to get into it, but you can go to our channel and you can search that, or you can search Daniel Priestley with the Key Person of Influence book, and you'll understand what 7-11 4 means they have to consume 7 hours of you. They have to make 11 buying signals. That is raising their hand, saying they're interested. And they got to see you on 4 different platforms. When that happens, the brain just shifts to know, like, and trust. So if you're putting content out there and you give people an opportunity to get to know you, then they're more likely to do business with you. Now, buying signals is a whole different thing. That's a 0 moment of truth that Google has made famous. People raise their hand, they search you, they look you up, they do buying signals, assessment, buying a book, listening to a podcast, buying a magazine, checking you on Substack. All these different platforms, if they do 4 and they do 7 hours of you and they make 11 buying signals, bingo, magic happens. And that magic is you generate leads. Now, does this happen overnight? No. Could it? Possibly, but not really. Daniel said this. I feel like I know him because I've listened to him. Daniel said this. Okay. People, it's like a 5-month journey, typically. But some people can binge you if you have enough content out there. And maybe it's not 5 months. Maybe it's 30 days. Maybe it's a week if you give them enough. But you got to give them enough. And if you build this relationship wheel and you look at this, here you are, you're the magic, you're in the middle, you're the key person of influence, and you look at CPA, attorney, banker, insurance agent, business broker, others, we could say podcast guests, groups, clients, payroll, software, coach, high performance coach, real estate agent. So you look at that and you're surrounding yourself. And why are you surrounding yourself? Because you're going to select 12 relevant categories, relevant businesses that touch you upstream, downstream. That's a term we'll get into later, but that means that the flow of leads, and everything is about the flow. Everything's about leads. Leads matter. And if you don't establish a strategy to get leads, lots of them, man, you're not going to be around long, because if you're just getting a couple and then all of a sudden you're working on them, then it dries up and you got to do this vicious little hamster wheel of just get some leads, service them, then all of a sudden you got to go back to getting more. You got to have a constant flow, and you do it with these 12 categories. Because in the first level, we call it gold or crawl. These are the people you really know and like and trust. And then you have your second level, which is the silver. That's where you're walking. Then you're running. Because when you establish bronze, and it's just the people that you know, because you got to fill these in. You can get this sheet. I'm going to give you a resource where you can download it and start working on this, because who you know, like, and trust is valuable to your ideal prospect. Because if you come to the presentation with a team, with you and your team, you're more valuable to that prospect. Because if these are relevant categories for you, and you've filled this out, you've done this exercise, and inside the magazine, which we'll show you in just a second, is your 20 out of the 36. Because not everybody's going to do it, because it's a financial commitment and it's a time commitment. Not everybody's ready, and that's fine. But you only need to get your 20. Your 20 out of the 36. Now, could you get 56 here? Yes, but that's overkill. Let's do 36. Let's get your 12 categories. Let's see who you know in those 12 categories, and you put it here. These are people you vented, you've done business with, you know them, you like them, and you trust them. When you have that, you have a valuable person, a valuable, what we call a key person of a key strategic person for you. So when you put them on your team, you're writing this out. You're inviting them on your podcast because we take the stories and we put it in a podcast, digital asset, and a physical asset, a magazine. So when you look at this magazine, and you can go buy one at Kennesaw Happenings, at Amazon, and just search Kennesaw Happenings. Or you can go, let me see, nope, I don't. Okay, I'll go back to that later. Okay. But you can, if you just put magazine on petekane.me, you can see a sample. You can see a PDF. You can see the quality of the story. But people remember stories. And if you give them a physical magazine at the presentation, and in it is your resource, you're the magic, you're on the cover, and inside the magazine is 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. 20 out of your 36, their story, their podcast, so people can get to know them. It should be trust and verify. Yes, some of them you don't have time and you're just going to trust the person. But if you want to verify, you can listen to a podcast, you can read their story. And inside it is our masterclass too, and other interesting articles to help you because you are the magic. You're on the cover. You're a key person of influence. And when you do that, you're in partnership with people. During the 12-week transformation, which we help you, 12 weeks of high performance coaching and helping you to implement the key strategic mastermind team. That team is in a physical magazine that you can get from Amazon, that you can bring to the presentation, that you can provide for your ideal prospect. And when you do that, they see the team that you've put together, you become a whole lot more valuable. You become a person that they can't deny, and they want to do business with you. So when you do that, you are making an impact statement of value. They look through the magazine, they see all the different resources. Oh, I don't have to go searching online and trying to figure all this out and waste a lot of time. No, they can get to know you, like you, and trust you. They can ask you, what do you think about Pete? And then it's a personal story. But in there is their podcast and their printed story. So look at it. Go to the magazine. Go to, just instead of connecting, I'm going to just put this one up. I'm in the wrong screen. Instead of putting connect, which we connect people in our community, you put magazine in there and you'll be able to see samples of it. So you're establishing a lead flow through relationships. You're collaborating. Say you're putting offers together for your key strategic partners. Key strategic prospects. And when you do that, you are on your way to generating leads, creating cash flow, and building thriving communities. So, all right, this is on this site. So if you want to get this resource, go to petekane.me/KSP, stands for Key Strategic Partner, and you can get this sheet. Download it, start filling it out. And we're going to have training on there so you can get down to the granular parts that you can implement. So you make sure you're focused on the 3 strategies to grow. Because if you focus on these 3 and you use the key strategic partner mastermind concept and you provide them your ideal prospect with their own magazine, and in it is stories, in it is people that are going to help their business because You vented them. They can get to know them, like, and trust them like they have, because when you sit down and you present to them and you have a magazine with your team, you become more valuable. Excuse me. So go to pkane.me/KSP. Download it, get it, check out the magazine. It's a wonderful resource that you can have. Now, if you want to be a key strategic partner, you want to be a person on the cover, you can. You invest in yourself. That's $1,000. But when you're putting your team together, you're getting your money back, because we want you to be very careful about your cash flow. Cash flow is king, will always be king. When you spend $1, you want to get 10 back. I hear a lot of people, I got my money back. That shouldn't be your strategy. Your strategy is get 10 times back what you spent. And you can with our strategies. It starts with you. The magic is in you, and anything is possible. So you want to be a guest on our podcast? Let me go back here. Then go be a guest. Go to pkane.me and be a guest on the podcast. We want to share your story with our community. We want you to thrive. We want you to generate leads, create incredible cash flow, employ and be valuable in your community that you're dealing with and you're working with. So go to KSP. If you put KSP past Pete Kane, you can get this resource. So be bold, make an impact, and have fun. Be bold, make